called Kihilihili. What's its name?
Kihilihili.
You are so good. Thank you very much. Okay. There was a woman, and she was tall, and she was strong, and she was beautiful. And I will tell you, in this world, she loved to dance. Everybody do this with me now. She loved to dance. And when she danced on the hard, dry African plains, the dust got higher. Do it. It got higher and higher, and always she would smile. Now I'll tell you, this woman's name was Unjalara. What was her name?
Unjalara.
She was tall, she was strong, she was beautiful and clever, and her skin was as dark as midnight, all beautiful and black for anyone to see, and she would always smile. Can you show me a smile? And she would always smile, and when she danced, do it. The dust got higher and higher and higher. Now in this world, when the sun would rise, and it was hot, hot, hot up on her skin, she would rise and plant the corn, look after the cows, look after the sheep. And I will tell you this, she loved her work, but she did not have a child of her own. And in this world, when it became so hot, 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 that she could not bear it upon her beautiful skin, she would go back to her home, and there was a husband. Now a husband loved two things in this world, and the first was to eat. Can you do that with me? And the first was to eat, and the second was to sleep, and the second was to sleep. Now the thing is this, he lay in his bed, for he did love to sleep, and there he was. And at the middle of the day, when his wife came back, his wife, whose name was Unjalara, the door would open and he would hiss her name. His teeth would be ground together. He would whisper her name, hiss her name. Unjalara. Can you do that with me? Unjalara. Where is my food? Never a word of please, never a word of thank you. And there it was, and she would cook and place a plate in front of him, never a word of please, never a word of thank you. And when the sun was starting to go down and the moon was in the sky like a great silvered coin, she would go back out and she would dance. Do it. She would dance, and there she would be with all of the children of the village, and she would smile and she would sing. And I'll tell you this, when the moon was in the sky, all of the parents of the children would call them back, and that smile would be downturned, for Unjalara had no children of her own, not a baby she could hold in her hands, or a boy who would work with her, or a daughter who would dance with her. Now when the children had gone, she would go to the great mountain. Now, on this mountain there lived an old wise woman. She was not a witch, but I'll tell you this, she could make things happen. And she loved in this world two things, and the first was to eat. Who was that who said eat? And the first was to eat, and the second was to sleep. And the old wise woman was there, and she was eating. And as she ate, and as Unjalara danced, do it. And as she danced, the dust went higher and higher, and it ground and gritted between her teeth. And this woman put a small hand into a hard fist, and she went to the side of the mountain and said, Unjalara! Your turn. Unjalara! You have spoiled my food. What do you want? Old wise woman, I would wish to have a baby I could hold in my arms. I would wish to have a son who would dance with me, or a daughter who would plant the corn. And here, the old wise woman had a strange smile upon her lips. You had better be careful. I might give you a child that you do not like. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, said Unjalara. And she went back to her home, and there was a husband who loved in this world two things, and the first was to eat, and the second was to sleep. And there he was, fast asleep. And Unjalara rushed up to him, grabbed hold of his shoulders and shook him. Can you do that with me? And she shook him, and she went, husband, husband, husband! Más fuerte, por favor. And she went, husband, husband, husband! The old wise woman will give us a child. He lay there going, will you stop shaking me? You fool of a woman! She cannot give you anything. again, and his words scratched at her ears. And she lay down, and she fell to her sleep. And the very next morning there was no child there. But out she went, and she planted the corn, looked after the cows, looked after the sheep, and when it became hot upon her skin, back she went and cooked the food for her husband. Never a word of please, never a word of thank you. And he ate his food, and out she went and danced with the children. Do it. And she danced with the children, and the dust rose higher and higher, with the moon in the sky, and the children would go, and she would be so sad. And off she went again to the old wise woman, who loved two things in all of this world, and the first was to eat, and the second was to sleep. And this time the old woman was fast asleep, and the dust rose higher and into her nostrils and caught upon her lips, teeth and tongue. And she raised her hand to a small fist, and she looked and she said, Laura, your turn. Laura, you've spoiled my food, you've spoiled my sleep. What do you want? Oh, wise woman, I would wish for a child I could hold in my arms, a daughter who would dance with me, and a son who would walk with me. You had better be careful. I might give you a child that you do not. Oh, thank you. And back she went, and there was her husband fast asleep, and she reached towards him and remembered what had happened last time. She did not shake him, and she fell fast asleep, and that night her imagination filled her head with dreams, and when she awoke, she could feel something like an arm across her belly. With her eyes still closed, she reached down. It felt smooth, it felt scaled. She looked at this child and she smiled, for this child had black, shiny scales upon its skin, a huge, wide, smiling mouth, and in its mouth it had a tongue. But the tongue was long and thin and forked and black. But the child that she had looked like a snake. Can you make a snake with me? Looked like a snake. She picked it up and held it in her arms. She looked and she said, you are the most beautiful child in all of this world, and I shall call you Kihilihili, which means snake boy. Can you say the name ready? 1, 2, 3. Kihilihili. And she started to dance with this snake boy in her arms. And a husband who loved two things in this world, and the first was to eat, and the second was to sleep, woke up and saw his wife dancing with a snake child in her arms. Do you think that he was happy? No. He walked and he took a spade, a shovel, and he raised it high in the air, and he was just about to strike this child when his wife said, stop! You cannot hit this child, for this is the child that the old wise woman has given us. He shall live in our house. No, he shall not. And Angelara's husband ran to the great square in the middle of the village, in the middle of the houses, and there he stood there and shouted, old men, old women, my wife has brought a child that looks like a snake. I do not want him inside of my house. All of the old men sucked at their gums and licked at their teeth. You're right. You don't need to have that child inside of your house. Take that shovel and dig a hole down by the side of the deep, fast-flowing river, and there take 10 trees and cut them down and place them about the sides and throw the child in. And if you want to do something with it, you do not have to. Your wife, Angelara, can go and give him food and dance with him. But the old wise women of the village, who are much cleverer than men, it is a well-known fact, looked and said, Angelara's husband, this is a special child. You should leave him inside of your house. He will grow tall and strong, and he will be a good son to you. But Lara's husband went and took his spade and dug by the side of that fast-flowing river and chopped down 10 trees and placed them about the side, for he listened to what he wanted to hear. And he threw Kihilihili in that place. But every day, when the sun would shine and it was hot, 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 and Lara would go and feed him, and she would dance with him. And Kihilihili grew taller and stronger and wider. And listen, this is a terrible thing to say. The children of the village would take stones and they would sharpen them and throw them at his skin. Disgusting child, horrible child. We do not like the way that you look like a snake. You do not deserve to live inside of our village. Terrible things to say. But the chief's daughter, who was as beautiful as the sun that shines, would speak and say, "How can you say that? Just because of the way that this boy looks." And Kihilihili would smile and say, "Thank you. Thank you." Can you all do that with me? Ready? Thank you. Thank you. And every day he wanted to see the beautiful chief's daughter. And he grew taller and stronger and wider. And one day, on one of the trees, there was a branch. On one of the branches, there was a thorn. And as he pulled himself strong and straight, it dug into his flesh and the skin split. I was hoping for some help here. And the skin split. I'm doing it. The skin. And the skin. And the skin split. And from out of the body of that great and terrible snake, there stepped a man, Kihilihili, tall and strong, beautiful round golden eyes, and he pulled up the skin and placed it underneath his arm, and he started to walk towards the village. All of the children said, "Who are you?" But Kihilihili said nothing. The old men sucked at their gums. "You, sir, who are you?" But Kihilihili said nothing. The old women did not need to ask, for they are much cleverer than men. And down he went and walked to where his mother, Lara, was cutting at corn, a long, thin, silvery blade, and he stood in front of her. As she cut the corn, she said, "Please, kind sir, move, for I shall catch you with this knife." But not one word passed his lips. She said, "Please, move." She looked at his feet. She looked to his legs. She looked to his body. She looked to his two round golden eyes, and the long, thin, silvery blade fell from her hands and stuck into the hard, dry African ground. And she went, "Kihilihili, Kihilihili, 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 my son, now you are a man." Can you do that with me? Really quiet at the beginning. Okay, swell. Here we go. Kihilihili, 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 my son, now you are a man. And she started to dance with him. Now, her husband loved two things in this world, and the first was to, and the second was to, and there was his wife dancing with a handsome young man. Do you think that he was happy? No. He looked and said, "You, sir, how dare you dance with my wife?" Kihilihili smiled. "Oh, my father, do you not? Oh, my son, now you are a man. You shall live inside of my house." And Kihilihili said, "No, I shall not. For when I look like a snake, you would not have me inside of your house. And I shall not. Well, where will you live?" "Oh, my father, I shall live in the house that you have made for me, down by the side of the fast-flowing river, with 10 trees for the walls, and I shall live there when I have married the chief's daughter." Ha! Went his father. Can you do that with me? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You married the chief's daughter. I could step into the air quicker. You need to have gold. Can you do this with me? You need to have gold. Put your little fingers together, it's an S and it changes. You need to have silver. Put a diamond ring on the back of your hand. You need to have diamonds. You need to have cows. You need to have sheep. You don't have those and you're not worth that. Just once. And you're not worth that. Well done you. So, Father, because I have